Hello, all you wankers all over the world.
Hello, wankers around the world. Everybody here, all the boys and girls, and those who identify however they may. Welcome to Guenther Steiner's Day. What's up, wankers?
How is everybody doing? How are you doing today, Guenther?
I'm good. So I go ahead with this. So what do you think about the race, you two guys, which told me a few months ago that will be a boring season again?
Damn. Calling us out, dude.
You want to play that game? You want to play that game, Guenther? About predictions?
Normally you call me out. You call me out. So this time it's my turn, you know. I'm now long enough together with you so I can call you out, you know, on all the mistakes and all the misinterpretations you made.
We were flat wrong, Guenther. We were flat wrong, and we're man enough to say it. However,
who are you, Will Joseph, bringing up every little thing that happened in our past and using it against us, manipulating me?
No, I'm not going this far. I don't remember anything, you know, so don't worry about that. You know, I'm getting at that age when your brain is not helping you anymore to remember things.
No, Guenther saying, Matt and Brian, I know you'll do the right thing and own up to your mistakes. I know you'll do the right thing and say that you were wrong about this season. Guenther, have you ever seen anything like that in your years of motorsport? What was happening on that McLaren radio? Have you ever heard something like that?
No, normally it is not this polite, but I think it was the English being polite, gentlemanlike. You know, there was always, could you please, would you do? There was never any swearing, there was never any losing of or getting emotional. It was all very well thought through. I was quite impressed by it. I was just waiting that somebody gets, what the, you know, the other word, is going on here, It starts with F, by the way, that word,
Yeah, what would you have said? What would you if you were on that pit wall and Lando was in that position and you wanted him to give the place back? What type of radio would you call into your driver? What would you say? And feel free in this moment to use any type of language that you would actually use.
I think I would got to the state for winning a race. I would got. Maybe I wouldn't even get this excited. I have to think about because the team was winning anyway. It's just who gets first and who got second. So for me, it was more like, say, hey, is anybody out there when he didn't answer? You know, because you know he can hear. You know, it's like, dude, can you please at least answer? Or what the fuck, man? You know. So,
right.
But I don't know if I would have gone. I found that I wouldn't say strange what they did, but you know, for me it's like Lando can win this world championship, and I would have been thinking, how can I explain to Oscar he's not going to win, Lando's going to win because we want him to win the world championship. You know, that goes to my head, but obviously I don't know their contracts, so I cannot speak for them. But I think at some stage I would have thought, Can you imagine if now, end of the season, they are missing 6 points?
Yeah.
I mean, Lando will not be, I'm a team player, I'm very happy about this, you know, and all that stuff. He will be, what the fuck have we done in Budapest, you know?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, wait, whoa. So, Guenther, let's just get this straight. If you were Andrea Stella, you would have said, sorry, you would have done On the Waterfront, Marlon Brando, Oscar, it's not your night. It's not your night, Oscar.
Maybe it's not your year, Oscar. Your year will come. This year will be Lando's year. Because I found it weird that they didn't discuss this before the race. Because I think what they discussed before the race was who is first in turn one can stay there. That's my opinion. I have no knowledge of it, obviously, but I think that was the deal. Who is there? And they haven't thought this far that they can bring a 1-2 home, you know, and then all of a sudden they are like, if they agreed that before, they have to stick to it. You know, it would be difficult to tell Oscar, no, you're not number 2. After we had the deal before the race, and now we're going back on our deal. So, you know, when you're in these positions, all of a sudden they're the best team out there. It's a different situation they're in. I don't think they were prepared for that. And that's what I think I said it here as well a few times. You need to learn also win consistently. It's not like that you start winning, it's easy. No, every win is difficult and you learn always new things. Every race you go, you learn new things how to deal with, All of a sudden, they're winning and they have to deal with it. And they are 1 and 2 with 2 cars. So how do we deal with that?
So what did McLaren learn yesterday? What do you think they learned?
That they've got the best car in the moment. That is what they learned. And I think they learn next time in the next race is how do we deal if this situation comes up again? What do we actually want to achieve out of this championship? Yeah, we want to win the Constructors' World Championship. But by the way, it would be nice for Lando to win the Drivers' Championship as well.
But don't you think, okay, what about this argument? Okay, if you don't let Oscar win this race, you're going to alienate him. And then you're going to lose more points at the end of the day because he's going to stop playing ball.
Yeah, you can see it like this. But I think the team, as much as yesterday was weird, it's managed very well. And I think they can bring it to. These are 2 young drivers. And you could hear on the radio yesterday, none of the 2 lost their tempo or anything. There was nothing there. I mean, they both see it. And I think they are open to listen to. And as I said before, Oscar, this year is Lando's year. He's here longer. He has got more points in the moment. He has got a chance to win the World Championship. Your chance will come. You are 21 or is he 21 or 22, Oscar? Will come. Mm-hmm. But in the moment, our bets need to go to Lando, especially he ended up to be in the lead, The other thing, what they could have done, bring Oscar in first, because normally if you are leading the race and they are 1-2 as a team, the first car out there has got the strategy to his advantage. And that would have been bring him in early or bring him in first and then Lando.
Do you think that they were skittish, though, with this? Because what they said was that they were worried about Hamilton. But it seems like that wasn't actually that much of a threat. And I think that they're not used to being chased. They're always used to chasing, and now they're the one who's being chased, which is a whole other thing. And they got skittish, they got scared, and they brought in Lando and then put him in this insane position. They need to accept. Do they need to accept the fact that they're the strongest car out there and start acting like it?
Absolutely, and that's what I said before. They learned out of this race. They've got the best car, so they don't need to be worried about it. And you called it skittish. I think they were paranoid that this is not real. We are leading by this, or can we keep it up? It's like let's go in defense. But when you're 1-2, normally you go on attack. But as for them, it is new to be in this position, and I wouldn't say it's a mistake. It's learning, It's learning. It's something which happens naturally. But that was, as you said, I didn't see Lewis being a threat to them. Nobody was a threat to them, in my opinion.
It's like us having a podcast with you. We're not used to it. We're paranoid. We think we're going to screw it up.
I never got that feeling, guys. I never got that feeling, by the way. So don't worry about that. That didn't come over. But just to make sure
we're out of position.
You were out of position. We feel uncomfortable. We have to feel like we have to do everything we can to maintain it. We might overcompensate. Your shirt, your Oxford shirt,
makes me happy. Yeah.
Your Oxford shirt looks absolutely lovely today. What brand is that?
I put on that specially for you.
What brand is that?
Yeah, it looks amazing.
I think it's a Borelli.
Ooh.
I think it's Italian made one.
Oh.
It's a Borelli. I've never even heard of that.
Well,
and I shouldn't because
if you don't know, you can't afford it.
Because you thought it was a pizza brand.
Yeah,
you thought it was a pizza brand.
It does sound like I would eat at Borelli's.
Everything you say is so funny, Guenther. It's hilarious and it makes me laugh harder and harder every time.
But here's the other question, and we talk about that Lando is the only one on that team who has the shot at the Drivers' Championship. But if they had that mentality, Lando can really win the Drivers' Championship, but he's got a long gap to go. Why do you not put yourself in the position at the start? Hey, Oscar, cover off Max. Let's make sure we bring this home for Lando. Now, I know that it's his first win, but if that's really the mentality, let's get this World Drivers' Championship for Lando, why do you even put them in the position, hey, first turn, whoever's leading gets to win this race? Put all your ducks in the let's get Lando Norris a championship basket.
I think they will do from now on. I think for them it was something completely new to find themselves in this position that they didn't want to believe it themselves. That's my opinion. Because it's so hard to believe. Because you guys told everybody the last 2 years that Red Bull is dominating, so everybody believed it.
This is our fault.
So nobody believes in themselves. It's as normally, It's your guys' fault, Zach Brown listened to the Red Flag podcast. You talked about this domination. Zach told Andrea Stella, we're not going to win the championship. Matt and Brian told us it's going to domination of Red Bull.
That's why he went to Toronto. He didn't believe. You think that's why he went to Toronto and he wasn't even there? Because he thinks F1 is a complete washout?
Very good spotted. He didn't think he can bring a 1-2 home. We need to get, we need to get Zach on the show here, and ask him directly. Did you go to Toronto because you didn't think you can win Budapest on a 1-2?
Why do you think he did?
Do you think he's going to be there for every race now for the rest of the season? Like, there's been a couple races where he hasn't been there. It's like, does that, the kids were fighting. Does Dad need to come home and make sure that he's at the house more?
I think they did pretty good without him. Huh? So,
but the kids were
fighting.
Hold on.
But they were not fighting. They were all polite, he made them behave very well,
Yeah, they were polite in a very British way. You
got to read between the lines. There was emotional blackmail. Lando, we know you'll do the right thing. Think of your teammate. Think of they said you can't win without us. They're basically saying like you'll lose the team. You've dealt with enough British people. Like that's hate speech. That's violence. That's violence. To be like...
That's violence. That's basically... Yeah, it's like, you basically saying, you fuck off because we let you down next time. That's what people
it's like Italians in the mafia. It'd be a shame. It's a beautiful team we got here. It'd be ashamed if something happened to it.
If you lose a wheel, buddy.
Yeah, it would be a shame. Accidents happen. That's kind of what they were saying in their own British way.
Yeah, we get Fredo in, no?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It was, they made him an offer he couldn't refuse, Guenther.
That's right. Do you not see this as being some version of mismanagement, though? Because putting Lando in that position, it was a really tough position to put Lando in. The guy who has the only shot at winning this championship other than Max, and you give him the keys to his second win, and then you say, no, give it back. Do you not see that, emotionally, the human element is a huge portion of this thing. Otherwise, they would just, if it was purely on numbers, then who gives a shit about Oscar Piastri's win? All we care about is Lando Norris winning because he could actually win this championship. The human element is huge here, and I feel like on some level it was a failure on their part, a big level.
Yeah, you could say, but then again, if you go back now to Lando, he was promised something. You need the team next time. How about that? Right. He will, from now on, the team will be on his side, in my opinion. And maybe he played that coolness because he's now okay. I'm going to use this. This is the best way out of here. And we also have to respect for his age. He was very mature. Because, I couldn't imagine myself at, how old is Lando, 24, 25? Yeah, something like this, around that. If I'm in the lead and I can win a world championship and I have to get somebody past, you can imagine what I would have answered to them. Yeah, it wouldn't be...
You could stick it up your ass. But the thing is, he did say there was a moment where he was like, well, he's like, hey, let Oscar pass. Let him catch up to me first. I would love to let him pass.
Yeah, obviously he tried it on, Matt. He's racing a long time, so he tried, let's try how far I can take it before I upset them,
Putting in purple fastest laps. Oh, yeah, I'll let him by. Yeah. I'll let him by.
Yeah. Did you buy any of that tire stuff that they were telling him? Oh, you're taking it too hard into 4 and 5, and ease off your tire. There was like 7 laps left, and they're giving him all this tire deg stuff, and it just read as that they're actually lying to him. That's what it read to me. Did you buy any of that?
I wouldn't say they were lying to him. They tried to find another angle or something. But I am pretty sure he was not listening to that bullshit, because at that stage of the race, he know what the tire was doing, He didn't need anybody to tell him, He's a pretty good driver, He knows what the tire is doing at lap 63 of 70 laps, By then he knows, and he can see how much he's ahead, So
what do you think's happening in a debrief like that? Walk us through that debrief. What do you imagine is happening?
I think they all stayed calm. I think the discussions will happen afterwards in the factory to see how to go forward from here. But I don't think there was any sparks or fires in there. It was just like, okay, this was done. We agreed that before the race, and I guess they agreed before the race. Again, I cannot say that for certain because I wasn't there and nobody told me. But otherwise, Lando wouldn't have reacted like this. I stick to that what I promised to do. But now, how do we move on from here? Because if the three of us can find out that he has got a good chance to win the championship, I think there's a few hundred people at McLaren which can figure it out.
You think?
Okay, how do you think? So that's how you think maybe the McLaren debrief went. How do you think the Red Bull debrief went after yesterday's race? What do you think the temperature was like in the Red Bull debrief?
I think that was a little bit higher there.
Really?
I think obviously. Just a little bit. I think the F word flew around quite a bit there with Max, But
yeah, talk about two different ways of handling things.
Exactly.
The British way of handling things.
And the Dutch.
And then just the most brutal,
directness,
short Dutch way of handling it. Yeah.
There's no reading between the lines with Max.
Right. Yeah.
He made it pretty clear to everyone that he's pissed.
Okay, as a team principal, like, would that upset you if you were Christian? Having that sort of level of dialogue over the radio for the public to hear, or to have GP, because they get set, because that's the GP is the only team principal. The only race engineer that you hear actually giving it back to them. Like, they actually sound like a married couple. It's like the only relationship. Usually it's just one way. Usually it's just the driver yelling at the other guy, and the other guy's trying to calm him down. But they're just like bickering. So I'm like wondering what you think of that dynamic, and if you think that that's something that you would condone or try to clamp down on. How you feel about that?
No, I think he gets on. He won so much with him that he can now do it. His race engineer is just like the relationship is good. I think the relationship, if he doesn't win like he won the last 2, 3, 4 years, will be a different one in a year. And maybe he wouldn't answer like this, but in the moment, he has got the confidence, and they know each other very well. So, and I normally think the relationship between race engineer and driver needs to be like this, that the race engineer can say his bit, because it's just fair, you're the driver, you're trying everything out there, but do you think I'm not trying? Or when a driver, it would be the same if the race engineer has a go at the driver if he puts it in the wall. What did you do, you idiot, and so on? Because he knows the guy's trying his best. So,
well, it seems like it was interesting. We've highlighted the two different ways of dealing with things. There's the roundabout way, and there's the direct way. There's the scenic path, and there's the highway. Yeah. And it seems like you kind of subscribe to the highway more than you subscribe to the scenic path. So would you rather like a Max Verstappen just swear at you over the radio versus a Lando or maybe a Lewis or a George kind of like end around way of doing it? What would do you prefer, one or the other?
Yeah, you know which one I prefer, but I put it up to the other one because you cannot be. As the team principal, you should be the most grown up in the team. You should, which doesn't always happen with me, to be honest. So, but in a team, it's a team environment. If it isn't continuing to be a problem, it can happen. It's like when you do something and you're like friends, you're together and you disagree on something, then you get together and you can agree to disagree, but you still move on because, like I said before, Max and his race engineer had so many good days, so one bad day shouldn't alter their relationship.
But you said it's interesting because there's this, we talked on the last episode about how Max maybe you could see him looking for the door, that there is a world where maybe Max is ending his time at Red Bull, and do you see yesterday the temperature? Because, Max has been fiery on the radio, but over a course of an entire race, to me, I can't remember a time where he's been as high for as long as he was yesterday. Do you see this as maybe being a bit of a sign of, maybe he's not long for his time there?
There's two things. They announced yesterday that the door is closed now, so he cannot leave until end of 26. They announced that one. That Red Bull, everybody's a friend now there. Everybody signed their contracts, and he cannot go anywhere. He cannot go to Mercedes. The earliest it would be for 27. So maybe you could see that the race engineers know that, and they said, "Now I just insult him back. I don't have to be nice with him anymore. He needs to stay here anyway. Maybe I lose my job, but for sure Red Bull gives me another job. Not his race engineer, but maybe a race engineer, Checo Perez, So or whoever is there instead of him. Should he go? I think also what now gets to Max, because he's used to win so much, and all of a sudden again, it's not happening. It's difficult. There is the car is not turning, the car is not braking, the strategy is shit. Everything is bad now. So because he was not used to that the last two years to have this situation. So he has got this new situation, and he maybe just overreacted a little bit the first time, but I think he will get used to it.
Okay.
If the McLaren keep their form.
All right, so there's two things, right? There's one thing. It's okay. Like I'm okay with him yelling at GP on the radio, and I'm okay at GP yelling at him back. That's
you enjoy it.
I enjoy it. I love it. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I live for it. But then when he sends it on Hamilton and almost DNFs, right? He's very lucky he didn't lose all of the points that he got that race. Like that was, talk about, throwing away a championship. He should have gotten P3 or P4
P4.
And what he should have probably done at that point was like, it's really hard to pass in Hungary. My strategy, it wasn't today. It's not my night. Marlon Brando, not your night, kid. And just say, you know what? P5's where I'm at. Lando will put 18 points on will get, 10 points on me or 12 or whatever it is instead of 18 or 25. But instead he sends it on Lewis Hamilton. And I guess it's like, then you kind of maybe have to question his mentality, and then you have to question the way he was managed, because that was such if he wants to win this championship, he just kind of has to just make not DNF, right? Isn't that his strategy? Just get what you can.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right for once, Matt. It's not very often.
Yes!
So that's what he should be doing, but he's just impatient. I actually gonna suggest to his father that you become the driver coach. How about that? Because you have so much wisdom, so. Right.
Don't DNF, Max. That's my advice to him.
Yeah.
That was just seemed like a low
patient, because he but again, when you are under pressure, you make mistakes. Before he didn't make mistakes, he never had these pressures to need to do somewhere, and he's just not used to it. I always think the guy which stays coolest of all of them, or is very calculating, is Lewis. The guy is just like, mistakes are very rare with him. Yeah. Nobody's perfect except Matt, but Lewis makes mistakes very rarely.
Okay, next question.
I watched back. I just gotta say, I watched back that Lewis Max moment, and I feel like Lewis at the end just moved in a little bit and kind of threw his tire. Like, I watched it back, and I'm like, I think Lewis Hamilton just kind of like stuck his tire there at the end. Was like, off you go, fly away, young dear boy.
Yeah, I don't think he would do that, because it's so dangerous. They were both so lucky not to damage their cars. If you try this thing 100 times, normally both cars are wrecked, but nothing happened. That was almost like a miracle.
That was crazy.
Now, let's say you're team principal at Haas again. I'm sorry to put you back there. But let's say
exactly. Don't do that to me. I rather hang out with you guys than go back there.
Let's say you were team principal at Haas again. Kevin Magnussen shows up. He's got bags under his eyes, and he says, "I've been sim racing. I've been up on the sim for 3 hours till 3 in the morning. Don't talk to me. I haven't slept very much. And then he goes out, screams at everybody on the radio, loses his front wing, and, you know, finishes out of position and is slagging off the whole team. Are you going to maybe question his what he's doing at night or no?
I mean, I read that story and I don't know how true it is. But, you know, if he sim race until 3 and then gets up at 10 o'clock to go to, I don't know what time he got to the track, you know, he still slept enough. I mean, he's a grown-up man now. He needs to know what he's doing. And I didn't see if he had bug under his eyes or not, because I know where you're going with this. But I
was talking about Kevin Magnussen. I don't know what you're talking
about. Exactly. Yeah. But then you just changed it around on me. But I would be more worried if they'd been out in the nightclub until 3 in the morning than sim racing.
Right.
You know. So
okay. So you don't think Crofty was because Crofty was? Are you?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you were watching the telecast. You were in Hungary, but Crofty was hitting it over and over and over again. Like, oh, you know, Max. What he sounds like is he sounds cranky. He sounds like he's been up all night, and he kept hitting it over and over and over again. And my first question is, do you think that was fair? And second, I want you to talk about British bias for a second. And if you think, as someone who can speak many languages and has probably heard British broadcasts, German broadcasts, Italian broadcasts, is British bias a thing? And if so, is it any worse than German bias, Italian bias, any other language you speak bias?
No, it's not any worse. All these countries obviously have got their heroes, and now the British have got, how many drivers? They've got 3 this year and 4 next year.
3 going to be 4,
yeah, exactly. So they've got a little advantage there over everybody else. And there is a little bit of bias, but I think also in general, it's just like, I think like we all are happy that there is no dominance of Max, and Max now showing weaknesses. A lot of people are happy about it because he was so strong for so long. You know, all good things come to an end. We all know that. So maybe his thing comes to an end for the time being. I still think he's one of the best, if not the best driver. Oh, I think he's the best driver in the moment. I still say that, but he is not in that dominating car anymore. And he showed a weakness by not only being on the sim until 3 in the morning, as Crofty says. I'm going to ask Crofty if he was sim racing with him, because that's why maybe he upset you guys so much with his commentary, you know. So we need to speak with him as well, you know, make it clear that you better don't upset us 3, you know, because
right.
the judgment is out for you. Exactly.
Yeah.
No prisoners here. But I think Max knows. Max is just, these things, they get to you. He's not this dominant. He doesn't go to the race anymore. Yeah, I'm going to win. You know, it's always good. I need to do a good job. I've been focused, everything. No, everybody else wants to win now. This is something new for him now. And he needs to get used to it. But I think we will see the Max coming out. I don't know how many years ago it was when he was coming up and he was fighting out there, you know. And the FIA had always, when the Max braking started, braking under turning and all that stuff,
right.
That's him. We will, for us, it will be very entertaining, a Max which is on a warpath. Because he will do things no other driver is going to do, because he doesn't want to become second.
I think the big question is, you know, is that mentality, is Max's mentality of, I don't want to come second, maybe going to bite him in the ass? And if in a race where he is like, you know, you're not first, you're last kind of mentality, whereas, you know, taking a note out of the Prost, you know, playbook of, you know, let me get 4th, let me get 5th, let me, you know, just chip away, get these points and secure that 4th championship. Will that actually bite him in the ass? And I guess, you know, I don't know, 2 questions. How likely do you think it is that Lando could actually nab this thing from Max? And realistically, where do you see Max and Red Bull like fighting? What position now at this point with that car the way that it is? The upgrades didn't work. McLaren's finding form. Mercedes and Ferrari are also finding form, a bit track dependent, but they can have good form on Sundays. Like, where do you think Max is? Like, where's his top now? Because it doesn't feel like it's winning races anymore. It feels like it's third, fourth, or fifth. Where do you put them?
I put them, it could be everything in the moment. The 4 teams, I say all 4 because also Ferrari has some strong, it's racetrack specific. And how do you find your setup? They're so close together. I think McLaren in the moment has, in general, all over the different racetracks, an advantage. I think the Mercedes and the Red Bull will be better, for example, in Spa again, but the McLaren will not be worse. They will be better with the high-speed corners because they showed they are good there. So I think that is better, but it will be a very tight battle. And as you said, with Max now, being second is the first loser attitude. It's difficult to win a championship if you where he's now, because I think Lando can win it. He's not this far behind. Just a few more things Max does wrong. He's still half the season to go, and he can recover. So I think Max needs to change his approach, get the best result for what your car can do. Do not try to do more than the car is able to do, like he tried in Budapest. He tried to overtake Lewis. It just wasn't going to happen. He wasn't fast enough at that track to overtake, because it's difficult to overtake and you need a big delta, time-lap delta to overtake somebody, and it wasn't good enough. But he tried hard and he got lucky that he brought home a 5th place. Otherwise he would have 0 points, would be even worse. So with this attitude, Lando has got more chance to win the championship.
Switching gears back to McLaren really quick, I was thinking about, everyone's slagging off Red Bull and Checo, for having Checo underperforming. But then you see this headache that McLaren's having, and I wanted to ask you, Guenther, if you had a front running team like McLaren or Red Bull, would you want a driver as good as Oscar Piastri next to Lando Norris, or would you want a driver that you knew was 0.2 consistently behind, so you didn't have this headache?
No, I would love to have the McLaren problem.
Really?
That's a nice headache to have, That's a nice headache to have 2 good drivers. It's more work, but you've got a lot more chances. I mean, I think even drivers, to motivate them between each other, is good to have the best teammate you can have out there.
Yeah, just say,
I think it's a good thing for a team.
Say that to McLaren in 2008 when they fought each other so hard that they gave Raikkonen the championship, though.
Yeah, it was different times. It was different management, Matt. Don't get sentimental now. We're in 2024.
Well, obviously.
Also, and I'm not saying this to call you out. It was 07. So shut up in the comments. We know.
Was it 07
or
was
we're
it
motorsport
08?
journalists. Yes. Yeah, because Lewis won in 08. Lewis won in 08.
It was 07? God damn it. Whatever.
It was 07. Yeah. That's just I know that there's going to be people in the comments.
Engagement.
Yeah, get those comments in. Wait, but you were mentioning earlier, you were insinuating that if you were running McLaren, or what McLaren should do is like now that Oscar's gotten this win, they've given him this win, they did the team orders, that from this point on, all hands on deck, we try to get Lando Norris this world championship. Is that, if you were running McLaren, would that be your mentality? And do you think that that's what they're going to do?
That would be my mentality. I don't know what they're going to do, but you need all hands on deck now that he wins the world championship, because he's some points behind. I think it's 70-something. Correct me on that one, Brian, please, because you have got all the stats,
he needs to score 6.9 points per race for the rest of the races in order to,
more than Max
and win the championship. Yes, over Max. Yeah. 7 points every race. 7 points averaged over Max in order to win the championship.
So if he wins every race and Max comes in second, he wins the championship.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if Max gets fastest lap, then
it's all out of the window again.
Then
right.
Oscar's in big trouble. Big trouble.
Big trouble.
Can't believe you could say. Oh, Guenther, I can't believe you're saying this with. Oscar's mom listens to this, so and you're just ruthless.
Yeah, Oscar's mom's a fan. What do you think of Oscar? It's something interesting, because we talked with you about, your kind of emotional detachment from this sport. You know, that you don't let yourself get too emotionally wrapped up in
dead
things,
inside.
That it's just that it. See, British, Dutch. You know, this is you know these and you know Italian, German. All the Austrian,
mix up,
all the things.
Yeah, exactly. Mix up. Yeah.
That's what makes this the you know shepherd's pie of the Formula One content creation world. Yeah. But okay, to Oscar Piastri, right. So when you see Oscar winning his first race, now I know it was a kind of a weird win, maybe a little bit bittersweet, but like the kid just seems to never be excited about anything. And do you feel like you maybe? I mean, I saw you when K-Mag got pole. You were very excited, and you get excitable. But do you feel some type of kinship with Oscar's kind of just like matter of factness? Do you like that about him?
I mean, it's a way to be. I mean, what you just steered up now, that his mum will start to beat me up like somebody else does. You know, like we know somebody else which keeps on beating me up, which I didn't even say anything. Everybody else says it, and I'm the bad guy. But
who keeps beating you up? Are we talking about someone that was in the news recently?
Yes.
That's gotten a lot of love and support.
Guenther, here's the thing. We talked about this on the Patreon. We talked about this on one of our episodes. We need to build the bridge between you and Ralf Schumacher. We need to
You hesitated to say the name there. You weren't. Yeah.
As well, honestly, I was thinking for a second. I was like Mick Schumacher. Maybe that ship has sailed. I think we got to go to the uncle first. So we need to. I think it's like as your millennial therapists. I think it's important that we, start healing, that we start repairing, and that from this scorched earth can grow a beautiful tree. That's what I think needs to start happening.
You're just a good soul, Brian. You know.
We're the guys to do it, Guenther. We're the guys.
I think we should do group therapy. I think we should do couples therapy. You, Ralph, and Will be in the middle.
That's right.
All right, let's plan. Let's go back to Oscar Piastri about his feelings. We'll
just lay out Mick Schumacher's lap times and compare to Kevin Magnussen, and we'll make him see the light and the amount of. All
right, but what do you think? Okay, back to Oscar. What do you do you have a preference of like a driver who's a hothead, a driver who's like a cool? I mean, I know. You just want to be fast on track, but there's a human element here. What do you prefer? What do you like?
I mean, it's not what I like. I mean, everybody can be like he wants to be in being emotional or not. But Oscar will win a lot in future. I mean, the guy is good. The guy is a good driver. I mean, he doesn't have to worry that he's not going to win races. I mean, the guy is just like, he won everything in F3, won everything in F2, second season in F1, wins races because Lando Norris lets him by, So...
Just hand it to him on a silver platter. Savage. Okay, so Guenther, you mean to tell me you've never met with a driver, met with a prospect, and let's say you're deciding between a few guys, but you just like the cut of some guy's jib a little bit better. You just looked at one of these guys in the eye, and you're like, I think just by this guy's attitude, I think he'll be better.
You know which one that would be, Matt. You know that one by now. I don't have to answer that one.
It's Max Verstappen.
Yeah. It's that attitude, go for it, But it doesn't mean that I dislike the other ones. But if you have the choice, that is, because, as I said, we are all different, and I cannot say I'm right or you are wrong. That is what I like, and it's racing, and that is what, sometimes in life you have to fight for everything, and I had to fight for everything, and that makes you like this.
What gives you the ick?
I think Max was
what gives you the ick of a driver? What just turns you off? Like a driver does
determination to win. Determination.
That's what you like.
That's what you like.
Yeah, that's what I like. Yeah.
What about something that turns you off? What's something that says like, no, I don't.
What's something a driver will do and you're just like, he's dead to me?
Don't start talking about that people, because the next thing is we're accused of murdering people here. So.
It's a figure of speech.
I'm now all paranoid about
emotionally dead to you.
That's a good word. Emotionally dead to me.
But
it's like when somebody says, "Yeah, it was okay." No, it's not okay. if you lose or something, it was okay, no, you didn't try hard enough. That pisses me off, because in life you've got a certain amount of opportunities, and everyone you miss, you will not get it back. So you can't say, oh, let it go this time. And no,
so when Kevin smashed the door, you actually like that secretly, because you're like, he cares, he really cares. He'll screw my door up.
No, I didn't like it at that moment, because I hate that smashing doors, Right. So I was ready to kill him and get the next one,
Did someone were there doors slammed in your childhood? Did someone slam a door on your finger one time? What about doors slamming is triggering for you, Guenther?
No, I've got all my fingers left,
Yeah.
So nothing missing yet. You never know. You need to be careful what you say. No, it's just like I was told not to do that, smashing doors, because don't smash the door. Smash the door behind you. Don't smash it. Don't break it. I mean,
and especially don't folks smash the door. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
We talk a lot about team debriefs. Can you remember, other than the Falk smash door, what's the worst team debriefing you've ever had?
I think I remember that, because I lost the plot. Sometimes I do that, as much as I'm a calm, guy and everything.
Lost the plot, yes.
And I just, it was in Miami.
Your daughter is seeping through here.
Yeah. It was in Miami. It was last year or 2 years ago. I don't remember. Because I felt that people were not trying hard enough to get the result. It was all, it's all right, Yeah. And when I get that feeling, it winds you up over a day, it's like,
complacency,
when you get, and maybe, complacency, know, and I thought I need to wake them up, and then I think I overdid it.
What did you do
afterwards?
What did you do?
You can imagine the language I used. So,
my imagination
you
doesn't seem to be
there.
working. It's weird.
Yeah, no, I cannot do it. You need to upset me first. Yeah, I laid in.
You laid into that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Before we get into this other stuff, we were talking about the race. I think it's time that we do our Rockstar and Wanker of the Week, brought to you by Cash App. All right, Guenther, who is your Rockstar and Wanker for Hungary?
I think the Rockstars is McLaren as a team, but they could be also the wankers, because they fucked it up, So there is nothing in between.
Yes.
So I think as a team, the performance of them is something, it's great, But it could end up that this decision made them to wankers at the end of the season, losing a world championship, So I don't know where we should go. Can you win them both in one go?
I think
I
so.
think they contain multitudes, this team.
Yes. That's right.
They're both.
I think it's very astute. The original Rockstar and Wanker, dichotomy was Haas in one moment we're rock stars and the next moment we're wankers. It can happen in the blink of an eye. It can happen in a split second. You could be a rock star and a wanker all at the same time. No, I'm totally with you.
You agree with me.
Totally. I think it seems like, but I guess it's kind of, when you think about it, it's like there's the car development side, rock stars.
Yes.
And then there's like the team management strategy kind of like personnel side, which I think are probably there's some differential there, kind of on some wanker territory.
Yes.
Right? Within that team.
It could be, because we would just find out in 12 races. Maybe we are the wankers, because they knew what was going to happen in 12 races. We don't, or I don't.
Right.
So, but it could be bad. So, but I think as a team they do a great job. But this, what was done there, it's a little bit, why would you do that? And I think everybody is out there saying the same. Nobody's really saying it, because everybody tries to find an angle not to upset them, but because they are doing a good job. They are doing a great job in beating Red Bull and proving you guys wrong, that Red Bull will be dominating. That is the best thing I can tell them.
Yeah, but they managed to win and still kind of look like jackasses.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. It was a beautiful win, but it's still like, why did he do that?
Yeah.
But they still won.
Yeah.
I mean,
a win to win.
The debate is for another half an hour, no conclusion.
Yeah. Well, time will tell.
They get two trophies. They get two trophies today.
3 trophies, don't they?
Two.
What would a wanker trophy look like?
One for Oscar, one for Lando, one for the team. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would?
Yeah, but they get wanker and rockstar.
I see. I see.
Our trophy. I mean, the other trophies, who cares about them? The important trophy is this one. Yeah.
Ooh, Vankas. Not only does Cash App sponsor our favorite perfectly branded F1 team, but they also make it easier for you to save money so you can do things that you love, like going to an F1 race. Are you going to be in Austin this year? Because we will, and you could if you start saving on Cash App. Listen, to be honest, we thought that Cash App was just a way to send people money, but it's also a faster, simpler way to bank. You can start saving with as little as $1 with no hidden fees, no minimum balance requirements, no account fees. And we all know that overdraft fees make no sense. Why are you charging someone if they don't have the money? What's wrong with you? Plus, when you deposit $300 or more in paychecks, you get up to $50 in free overdraft coverage. It pays to get paid on Cash App. So go download Cash App today. Now back to the show. All right. Well, there's another big piece of news that has to tangentially do with you, Kevin Magnussen.
Again,
officially
sacked.
Sacked. They did break that story. Did break the day after we posted the clip about K-Mag texting you, and I wonder if there was. I've been thinking this. I was like, I wonder if there was like, oh shit. We got to announce this. This has got to be out because we broke. I feel like we kind of rushed that story along.
Okay. So you feel you own that story.
I feel like we did it together. I'm enlisting you in this.
We did it.
Okay, we did it.
What are your thoughts? It seems like he's not going to find a seat. Do you see any world where he's in Formula One next year? And if not, what do you think his next move is?
I think it will be difficult for him next year to find a seat because he was beaten so between last year and this year from Nico. He was just, if you look at the stats, and the stats always count when you take a driver. There is you cannot make them look any good, So, and because there is not so many seats left open now, I'm pretty sure he doesn't get the Red Bull seat, he gets the Mercedes seat. Right. He could go back to Alpine if they don't get Carlos, and then it's only the Williams seat left because Ocon will go to Haas, as far as I'm informed. That will be announced pretty soon. So if we say it now, it will not be done, as you all know.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait. You're still in charge, Guenther. Are you making that swap? Are you swapping in Esteban horrible teammate Ocon for Kevin Folk Smash Magnussen, guy who dies on the cross, collecting penalties for his teammate Hulkenberg? Your little Viking?
I would look in. Yeah, I maybe would now because in the end he didn't deliver. I mean, he's not delivering. Again, yesterday you saw it. He had the same chance. It's always something, qualifying always behind Nico. So sometimes you just need to do something different to remotivate everything. Because if you take a rookie in and Kevin, how you motivate the team to do better? So you need to get fresh blood, Who is it? Good question. Is it Ocon? As you say, horrible teammate to everybody? Or there is Bottas still out there? Bottas cannot show what he's doing because his car is just not good enough. I mean, you look at it again yesterday in qualifying. I don't know. I think he qualified 13th or something
12th,
like this.
I think,
12th, yeah. Only he knows how he did that one. So I think I would look at Bottas, see how much motivated he is. Still, I think Bottas now is the biggest candidate for Williams, in my opinion.
So where is Sainz going?
I think Sainz will end up at Alpine. I don't think Sainz will go to Mercedes or to Red Bull at this stage. I think the Mercedes will be Kimi Antonelli. I don't know why I say that, but that's my feeling in the moment. I spoke with Toto. We interviewed him for RTL, the German TV, and he said he takes all his times to decide. But if you take your time, that means that you know what you're doing, because otherwise, or you have an agreement with, because the only replacement for Kimi Antonelli could be Sainz or maybe Bottas because he was there before. But I don't think anybody else comes near there. And Red Bull, I don't think they will go for Sainz. He left there, and they've got their own drivers. They've got Liam Lawson lined up. So they've got a good lineup there. Should Checo go end of the year?
Right. What did you make of Checo's weekend? Because he, Christian was talking about how this is going to be a new weekend for Checo. Then he crashes. Well, it was, but he crashed in. He didn't get into Q2 again, and then had this. He did have a very Checo-like race coming from the back, but he still had to come from the back. This is not, if you're in a top car, you're not dying for someone to qualify P16 and then make their way to P7. That's not what you're doing. That's not your job. What do you make of his weekend?
I mean, the qualifying is, as you said, destroying a car in qualifying to get out of Q1 with a Red Bull. That's quite an undertaking, and then it's true, because it's like you don't need to go 100% to get out of Q1 with a Red Bull. You don't need to take risk normally. You put a safe bet in there, but you don't take risk and do something like it. And he said it was wet, but the other 19 cars, they went through at the same time. It was wet for them as well. So, there wasn't somebody standing with a water hose and making it wet for him. So I think his qualifying was as it was. But his race, I must say, obviously he shouldn't be there, coming from 16 or 17, wherever he started, to go to 7th, I think he finished, 7th or 8th?
Seventh.
7th, it's not what he's paid to do. But he did. The race was solid. You cannot blame him for that. But if you start 16th, that is what the best you can do, even with a good car.
Right. What did you make of the Mercedes kind of debacle there in qualifying? What did you make? Just unlucky for one day, just kind of a misfiring. They had this great weekend.
I thought they were back.
And they come in and they botch.
We said they were back. You said they were back, Guenther.
They are back. Somebody wasn't thinking. Somebody maybe played sim racing until 3 in the morning and forgot to put 3 kilos more of fuel in. You see, you need to watch. Maybe Crofty knows about it. We need to ask Crofty if his race engineer didn't check the fuel level. I mean, I think it was a genuine mistake. They didn't think about. George wanted to go out early. Nobody thought that to stay out until the end, like you do in these sessions when they are semi-wet, I call it. And just was an oversight, but. Shit happens sometimes. It obviously took them out from in Q1, which George, as we could hear, was not happy about. Even in his English politeness, he expressed it very well, how he felt about it. But, sometimes it happens.
Do we want to move into some more team principal fun questions? First of all, I forgot. I had a new nickname for you. I wanted to pitch to you.
Not another one.
Another one.
Yes.
What do you think of G-Easy?
Which sounds almost like cheesy.
Could work.
Could work.
No, I don't like that,
G-Easy sounds cool.
G-Easy. Yeah. No, doesn't sound cool. No, doesn't sound cool. No. Right. Not cool enough. Okay. Try again,
Next week.
Go to the fridge.
Next week.
Go to the
All right.
Yeah. Even if you're living in California, I know that coolness is your thing, but
well, you know what? Cool. I'm going to come back next week because I'm not getting freaking complacent. I'm not.
That's right.
I'm going to keep shoving nicknames. I'm going to keep shoving nicknames down your throat until you like one.
Until I just give up on you. Okay. Until I just give up. Yes.
Yeah.
Until one sticks. We got some fan questions here. This is from DomDom1033. Who is the funniest person in the paddock, excluding yourself, obviously?
I would say Toto.
Really?
He's pretty funny. Yeah. You guys don't see that. The guy's pretty funny.
Invite us to the paddock. Let us hang with him.
Yeah. We can do that. He's pretty funny.
We got to get him on the funniest podcast in the Formula One space, and see how we can see how he enters when he enters into the octagon. How he can do
exactly. How he's pretty strong as well, So don't challenge him.
Okay.
All right, Toto. Who else? If you have to give a podium, if Toto's, obviously you're in P1. But who's if the next three? Toto, who two others?
Hulkenberg is pretty funny.
Oh, really?
Are team principal you wanted or anybody?
Anybody.
Yeah, Hulkenberg is pretty funny as well. Yeah.
Even for a German, huh?
Obviously, he's German. Yeah. He's German, so normally fun doesn't go with him. But he's pretty funny, So, but I think that comes because he where he comes from. I think it's only a mile or two from the Dutch border.
Oh,
so a little bit of influence from over there,
He's got a Dutch runoff.
Yeah, he's a Dutch runoff. Yeah.
Yeah, who's the least funny? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of sadness in there. Yeah. There's a lot. It's not fun. It's sadness, actually. And I don't want to go there because this will lead anybody you name by then. He will be so sad that he will complain about it to me. Why did you call me like that?
Right.
Look at you. Jesus.
Look at the state of your life. Who's the?
What about Fred?
He's pretty funny. Yeah. He's pretty funny. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. I forgot him.
Forgot about Fred. Okay.
Forgot about Fred.
Yeah, my buddy Fred,
We, now that McLaren is making some noise and Zach Brown doesn't deign to show up, Andrea Sella's getting a lot more play as like the new big man on campus. What do we know? What do you know about him? Do you know him at all?
Oh yeah, no, I know Andrea. I know Andrea quite a long time. He was a race engineer at Ferrari.
Yeah,
he was the chief race engineer. And he moved. I don't know if they let him go, or if he moved with Alonso to McLaren, because he was at Ferrari when Alonso was there, and they became friends. And he moved with Alonso to McLaren when Alonso moved on, and Andrea stayed.
Wow!
So Andrea is there a long time now at McLaren, but he came from Ferrari. He's very good and very experienced what he's doing, and you can see it now. But he was always in charge of the race operation, not technical director or anything like this. He was always in charge of the race operation at McLaren now a long time.
So in terms of like strategy and when to pit and all the stuff that's going wrong?
Yes, the strategists, but all of that group of people, the race engineers, they all reported to him, the strategists reported to him, that stuff on the racetrack, that's his forte.
Okay.
So maybe he's, maybe he doesn't deserve as much praise as maybe, who do you credit this, like, who's, if you had to pick someone to say, here's one of the main people behind this McLaren resurgence, and who do you credit with it?
No, I would say Andrea,
okay.
Because he went back when they elected for him to be the boss. He went back to the team back at the factory and told him what they need to win races as a race team, and maybe could explain to the designers, to the aerodynamicists what they need to look at. But I think their aerodynamicist is very experienced. I don't remember his name now, and he's there a long time as well. You will know. You know everything, Brian. Podromo is the guy's name.
Guenther, it's Podromo.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good.
Obviously, you know. So, So he but it was Andrea which guided them there, in my opinion.
Okay. So you give the credit.
Yeah,
to Andrea.
Credit is to Andrea. Yeah, and he's actually a very good person. Not like you guys.
He doesn't seem particularly funny though.
No.
Okay.
And he's not from Germany. Checking. He's from southern Italy. But anyway.
Right. All right. So this is more fan questions from Grace Robinson 6. What's the one thing you can't live without while traveling?
My cell phone.
Okay.
I'm very simple. I cannot live because I'm lost without that one.
Do you keep a charger, like a portable charger, with you? Because those things tend to die quickly.
Yeah, I've got always a charger with me. I lose it sometimes, but you can buy one at each airport, in the airports,
Right.
If you lose it.
All right. This is from Hispanic at the Disco 17. Amazing handle. Do you ever get gifts from fans? If so, what was the coolest gift you ever received and the weirdest gift?
Yeah, you get... I'll show you a nice one, Look.
Oh, wait, that's you?
You? Fred.
That's Fred, Toto.
Mario. No, Mario. No, the guy in the
Mario.
bottom, he's a friend. He's a Japanese. You know, he's wearing my T-shirt. He's a butcher. And he always brought us the best meat you can get to Japan, to the motorhome. And he sent me this postcard with Mario to Austria. Is that not cool? Yeah?
That's very sweet.
I mean, the best fans are in Japan.
In Japan. Yeah.
In Japan, yeah. They are amazing.
They're the best. They're totally. We love that race every year because
we
the
dream
fans
of
just
going there
do
one
it up.
day. Yeah.
They do it the best.
Yeah.
That's our number one, race that we're dying to go to is Japan.
Don't die.
Figure of speech, Guenther. Figure of speech.
You're so
okay,
literal.
what's the weirdest gift you ever received?
The weirdest one.
Obviously, it's not in your office, but
No.
You must have gotten some weird stuff over the years.
I got Kit Kats with my face on. You know, Kit Kat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. No, nothing else really weird.
No one ever sent you a lock of their hair?
No.
Right.
Okay.
No.
Interesting.
No one ever sent you a voodoo doll of Gene?
Not yet. Maybe you give people ideas.
Okay. All right. I love it. All right.
I just want to sound off on one thing. Everyone was talking about the team orders with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, and everybody ignored the team orders was given with, and they did it the right way, which is because Lando wasn't told about that he would have to give the place back. They just said, hey, Lando, they just pitted him and then said he had to give the place. Lance Stroll was behind Fernando Alonso, okay? And they said, Lance, we're letting you through to attack Tsunoda. If you can't get Tsunoda, you're going to let Fernando back through. So they did the switch, and then they go, okay, he couldn't get Tsunoda. And then they said, okay, Lance, let Fernando Alonso through. And he didn't do it. So shame on you, Lance Stroll. Shame on you. And that comes from all of us, all three of us, right? I mean, what happens after a situation like that, Guenther? I mean, what do you do after that when someone just doesn't listen like that?
Nothing at that matter.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
Nothing.
Yeah, but it's Fernando Alonso. I mean, what? You don't want to piss that guy off.
I mean, what can he do?
I mean, he could blackmail. What do you mean, what could he do? He could blackmail the team and cost them $100 million.
Can't do anything, you know. Maybe he gets $100 million leaving him there. I mean, you never know, you know. Man.
What can Alonso do? GP2 engine, Crashgate. I mean, the guy is
He seems a bit checked out, though. He seems a bit checked out.
Yeah, he seems not to be. He doesn't seem to be worried about the point he lost. You know, if he's on a bonus, he will get his bonus anyway. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not like you. I'm not complacent. I get upset about little things like that. I sweat every detail. But I guess I have two complacent co-hosts.
That's right.
Yeah, two sleepers. You know.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Spa is coming up on Sunday. What should we be looking out for? What was notable about Spa in your years as team principal? What do we need to know?
Spa. I mean, as a racetrack, it's one of the best ones for the drivers. As we all know by now, we always say that. Weather, unpredictable in that place. You never know what is coming in the next 2 hours. So it's always something to wonder. I think from a competition side, I would put the Red Bull and the Mercedes back up at least at the same level as the McLaren again, but then we got surprised a few times this year. I don't think it's particularly good for Ferrari, the high speed tracks, because it's very high speed. It's one of the tracks where you actually, one of the best ones to overtake. So it normally produces a good race, Spa. It's just like, but except the race, Spa, there is not a lot around, actually very little to say the least. So when you go to Spa, you go and watch a race. There's nothing else to do, or very little to do.
Right.
So it's not like Miami or one of these places, guys. Not for young people which are looking for entertainment outside of an F1 race. But if you want a good F1 race, go there and get wet.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so who do you think's winning?
I guess you're not going.
No, I'm all about the activations. That's why I go to races. There's no fan zone. I'm out.
Dude. Yeah. I just want to do meet and greets with Guenther Steiner. Yeah. Who do you think's winning in Spa?
I go again for Max.
He's your guy.
So if he wins in Spa, I mean, this championship's, it's over.
No, it's not over. You start again with this championship.
I don't know.
You guys,
I mean, it's going to be...
you told me 2 months ago.
Needs to be making up
Formula 1 is over.
Okay. You think even if Max wins in Spa, that Lando still has a chance?
Yes. There is so many different races coming with Singapore. All these races, they are very particular. They are not the high-speed races,
Okay. Matt, what do you think's happening in Spa? Who's winning? Oh, you said on the last one. Piastri, didn't you say?
But he won last time. He's not allowed to win anymore.
And I said Lando Norris. So we will see who wins.
Wait, you actually literally think think that they're going to sit him down and be like, "All right, Oscar, you're done." They're going to put him on ice.
No, if it is between them, they put him on ice. If it is between him and Max, they don't put him on ice, obviously. But if it is between them two, I would say they put him on ice, as you call it. That's a good thing. Put him on ice.
God damn it.
Oscar Piastri, I hope you enjoyed your day in the sun in Hungary, because, Booby, you're going to be cold for the rest of the year. Yeah. You're going to be cold. That's what Guenther Steiner says. What an amazing episode, guys. I think it's maybe the best one we've ever done.
Mrs. Piastri.
Except
Nicole,
for Piastri,
we love you.
He did.
Yeah.
We love you, Nicole.
We all love you. And we love your son.
Yes.
But
it's lights out for him, according to Guenther.
But come on. Let Lando, come on. He got his win. It was big deal. But it's Lando's time. Okay. Until next time, Vankas, goodbye.
Goodbye, Wankers.
Goodbye, Vankers.